If you know, you know. It's that time of the month. Not like that. It's time for our monthly TBR. I have a lot of good books I want to read this month, mainly new releases. I was going to talk about my monthly wrap up, but I only read 3 books. Should I still talk about them? I think I should. Give me a second. Let me go get them. Okay, I got them. So the first book I read this month was actually a fanfic for Powerless. It was called Heartless. This is the cover. You can only find the PDF download, so you can put it on your Kindle on the author's TikTok. Her name is Ava Wrights. I'll link her TikTok below. But again, it's a fanfic for Powerless, and it's about an Imperial Guard who is training under Kai, but has a close relationship to Kit, and they have a little romance going on. And again, this takes place during the trials, and it's so interesting. Personally, to me, I feel like her writing is very similar to Lauren Roberts. The way she was thinking, the plots, so good. But I do think there's something she could have added to make it better, so I gave her 4 stars. With that being said, the second book I read was the novella Powerful to Powerless. This is about a certain character and their point of views during the trials. I'm not going to talk a lot about this book because I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but if you want an in-depth review, reactions, all of that about this book, I made a whole Lauren Roberts reading vlog part 1, which I'll link to this video, so if you want to go watch that, you can. Then lastly, I wanted a palette cleanser between Powerful and Reckless. Have I read Reckless? No. My friend's been recommending me this book for over a year now, and I finally picked it up. It's called The Fake Mate. It's a fake dating trope. It's about this RN and this doctor. He pretends to fake date her so her grandmother will stop putting her on these bad blind dates, and she pretends to be his mate so he can keep their jobs because they're about wolves. But it's like they live in modern time. Like, literally pretend your coworker at work right now is a wolf, and their time of the month for girls is when they go into their heat and stuff like that. It's very interesting. I really enjoyed it. The romance was cute. He falls hard first, so if you love that, highly recommend. And yes, this does have smut in it, but it's not too much and it's not too descriptive. This book is just perfect in my opinion. I rated it 5 stars. So those were all the books I read in July. So now we're going to talk about the books I want to read in August. So first we're going to start with the books I have physically on hand. First book I want to read is It Ends With Us. I'm actually going to start this book after I finish recording this video because the movie comes out next week and I'm going to go see it. So this is a reread. I have read it before. If you don't know anything about Colleen Hoover, she writes fictional books, but these things can happen in real life. This book talks about DV. I really don't want to talk too much because I feel like anything you say about this book could be a spoiler, but just know I'm the type of person, if the movie isn't exactly like the book, I get mad. So you're probably wondering, Sierra, why are you reading this book? Because I obviously like being mad. I'm just kidding. But I do want to see how many things they get right from making an adaptation from the book to the screen. So when I say I'm going to annotate everything they're wearing, the descriptions of places and buildings, that's why I bought this version of the book, because I own the original copy. So I'm going to start this book today and I can't wait to see the movie. Next book, this book is called Wildfire. It's a part of the Maple Hill series. The first book is called Icebreaker, and that's basically a hockey romance. And this has to do with one of the hockey players on a team while he's at summer camp. And yes, it's another romance book. I've heard a lot of mixed things about this book, so I'm kind of scared to get into it, but still looking forward to it. I'm kind of sad because there's not going to be a lot of hockey talk in here, but it's okay. We'll get through it together. Now, the last physical book I have on hand, it's Foxglove. This is part of the Belladonna series. This is the second book. To be honest, I really don't know what this book's about. If I'm supposed to guess, if you don't know what Belladonna is about, it's about this girl who could see ghosts, and she gets frequent visits from Death himself. Death is like the Reaper, and in that book, she's trying to solve the murder or attempt the murder of her cousin, and Death helps her. So at the end of the book, a new character pops up and his name is Fate. I believe this book has to do with Fate and her cousin. Again, I could be so wrong, but yeah, I can't wait for this. Belladonna was such a fun read. I don't see this being any less. I cannot wait. Now, the other books that I want to read this month are new releases. There's a lot of new releases coming out in August, but I'm just going to talk about the ones I plan on getting my hands on to read. I mean, there's going to be other ones that I plan on getting my hands on that I'm not reading, but we're only going to talk about the ones that I want to read. The first book is Apprentice to the Villain. villain. I think it's supposed to be a trilogy, but this is the second book. The first book is assistant to the villain. It's a cute, fun fantasy book. Just think of like Ella Enchanted. That's always what I compare it to, because it's written in third person, but in a way that it doesn't feel like it is. It's really good. So fun. Can't wait for the second one. That's really all I have to say about that one. Then next is the third book in the Maple Hill series. It's called Daydream. Again, it has to do with one of the hockey players on the team. I really don't know where the setting of this book takes place. The cover, it looks like it's at a library, so I'm hoping it's back at the college, but hey, I'm not gonna get my hopes high. Then next, this book is also a part of a trilogy. It's the third book in the Belladonna series. It's called Wisteria. Again, I don't know who this book is about. I expect it to be such a fun read, just like Belladonna. And then lastly is My Dark Desires. I'm not gonna lie, this is a duology, I believe. Actually, I think it's gonna be a trilogy too, but this is the second book, and the first book is called My Dark Romeo, and I really did enjoy that book. I mean, I gave it 3 stars, like it was enjoyable, but there was just a lot of degrading towards the woman in the book, and I didn't like that. So I'm not really looking forward to reading My Dark Desires. I'm only getting it because the special edition is gonna look so cute next to the first edition, but my hopes aren't high for that book. Just throwing that out there. And then there's 2 other books that I plan on getting this month that I don't plan on reading. The first book is Throne of the Fallen, the paperback version, and I'm only getting it because Sarah Crowley has an expert in it. Is that what, that's the word, right? Expert? Just know she's going to have her own little commentary in the book, and we gotta support our girl. We gotta support our book sister, okay? So I'm getting that, and then the last book I'm getting is, I believe it's called Born to Blood and Ash, or Blood. Let me see, hold on, where's my phone? It's called Born of Blood and Ash. It's part of the Flesh and Fire series, and I haven't read any books in that series. That whole series is this row right here. I'm not gonna be able to read all those books this month, so that's why I'm just buying it. Yes, I'm the type of person to buy the whole series before she even reads the first one. Sue me. That is all the books that I read in July and that I want to read and buy in August. If you want to see more of my thoughts, my comments, my ratings for those books, I will be posting them not only in my next wrap up, I will be reading them throughout other vlogs that I'll be recording this month. So stay tuned, look out for those videos, and thank you for watching today's video.